This is something that I should have bought years and years ago. So this bad boy is a motorcycle lift, a company called Airlift. And this one is a scissor lift style. Due to that design, you can put a little furniture dolly under it and move it around. Most motorcycle lifts have a square or rectangular shaped platform underneath that sits on the floor, which means you can't move it around very easily. So this black piece is the ramp. It's got some little bends there, and it just fits right down inside like that. It operates with air pressure. There's a little foot pedal down here on the floor, and I hooked up my air hose to it for my air compressor. So we're going to go ahead and raise it up just a little bit. That clicking sound that you hear, that is a locking mechanism right here. So there's notches underneath the table, and each time it clicks, it engages into another catch. And to disengage the lock, just flip that way, and then we can lower it. So the purpose of the safety lock is so that it does not lower on its own if, for whatever reason, there's an air leak or something. So this is a newer style scissor lift, and it uses an airbag right in the middle there. It's kind of like a big airbag that you would find on a truck suspension, but it's actually much bigger in diameter. With that airbag design, it allows the lift table to come up quite a bit higher than the older style that had a air cylinder similar to a hydraulic cylinder. I'll actually measure it right here, just shy of 40 inches. This is going to be really nice. I don't know why I didn't buy one of these sooner. I guess I never just really thought about it too much. I used to live in a house that had a fairly small garage, so that was out of the question because there was just absolutely no room for it. So once you get the lift set to the height that you want it to work on a bike, then you would just lower it so that it drops down and engages on one of those safety catches. And there it is right there. And then to lower it, we'll actually lift it back up just a little bit. Disengage that, and then hit the foot pedal. Here's what the foot pedal looks like. I put those labels on there. This bluish green hose is the hose for my compressor. That has a small leak in it right now. And then the black hose goes to the actual lift. And I just put this piece of wood on here to raise it up just a little bit, and makes it easier to slide across the floor too. I got it positioned where I want it. And it is light enough where if you need to do some final adjustments, you can lift it up and move it just a little bit. I do see one thing that I need to change just a little bit. So this clamp here clamps up against the tire. You can see here where the tire is actually quite a ways forward of that rectangular tube, and it's almost clamping on the rim. So what I think I'll do is cut a small piece of wood, use as a spacer here as a temporary fix, and probably just zip tie that piece of wood to this square tube here. That way I can get the front tire just a little bit further back and get a better clamping force on it. Not the most elegant solution, but it'll work for now. So I bought this from the person that bought it new, so I'm the second owner. So that previous owner had put these threaded bolts in. I think these were some existing, at least some of these holes were already present. You can see up there and right here we have a slot and a hole So a tie down loop would go through here, and then the end of the hook would come up through that. So he may have drilled this hole as well as one over on the other side. These are a big eye bolt with threads on the end. So he has a big fender washer and a nut underneath. So the logic of having a hook here is so that you could put a small tie down strap between your foot peg and that. And that would be another way to stabilize the bike if you didn't want to do tie downs up front like I did. So at some point I will take those off and put tie downs here because I need to replace that front tire. So once we get the lift and the bike situated where we're ready to lift the bike up, then we'll go ahead and pull the ramp off. I stuck the ramp on that little furniture dolly right there. So now we'll go ahead and raise it up. It doesn't raise particularly fast right now because I have the air pressure turned down. If I raise the air pressure, actually I've lost a lot of air pressure from that leak. My air compressor is down to about 30 psi, and we're just about going to max out the height with the air pressure we have. Yeah, it's not going to go up anymore. As you can see, I've made a huge mess underneath the bike. I've had the lift for about 2 months now, and let's talk a little bit about it. So out front here I've added a nice little foam mat. It just provides a little bit of extra cushion when I'm standing here working on the bike. Plus it gives my feet a little bit of insulation from the cold concrete floor. Now over here, this is one of those little interlocking foam pads that you can pick up in a small package from Harbor Freight. That would work just as well. I don't have anything over on the other side. Generally, I'm not over here doing a whole lot of work, at least the work that I've been doing so far on the bike. The previous owner of the lift also had this little stand, a scissor lift. So what I can do with that, crank this up and raise the bike and get the rear tire off of the lift. You can also slide that forward to lift the front if I didn't have the front tied down. So at some point I'm going to be doing that because I need to completely dismantle all of the front suspension, take the forks out and get them worked on. So one of the things that I've also done here to the foot pedal, picked up some parts at my local Home Depot. This is a short pipe nipple with an elbow here. This is called a street elbow. It's male fittings down here, female here, and then another straight connector here. So that gives me the ability to offset these two hoses and have them running out of the foot pedal at a 90-degree angle. If you saw some earlier clips, you saw that the hoses came straight out. Well, the problem there is the hoses kept kind of getting underneath there, and I was afraid of pinching them. Plus, the foot pedal was always out here in my way, so I was continually fighting with kicking that and getting it out of my way. So with the hoses at a 90-degree angle here, I can push the foot pedal right up against the lift pretty much. And then one of the other things I did, I think I picked up this little short hose from Harbor Freight. It's just a small, like a 3-foot long leader hose. So I can just leave that attached and then hook up my air compressor hose right there. Some of the other lift tables that I had seen online for sale that have been in use for many, many years, they're really grimy, scratched all up, rusty because people push them outside to get them out of their way, and just a mess. You can see here that I've laid some cardboard down. I would highly recommend having some sort of protective something on the deck of the lift. One thing is that as you lay hardware down, the hardware doesn't have a tendency to roll away like it would on the metal surface. Plus any junk that gets dropped down, dirt, grime, etc., you can just take the cardboard, toss it. And it also prevents the lift table from getting scratched and messed up. So the lift has been working out really good. I've had the bike up here for basically since the day that I bought the lift, and I've been doing a bunch of work off and on over the winter.